Offensive play is 4, total yardage 24. Okay. Let's go with Nafziger on the ISO when you come up.
Back at Tampa Bay, the Packers have just put up their first touchdown, the first of the game. They lead 13-0 as Markall kicks it off. This might go the distance. Isaac Haggins breaks it out to the 50-yard line, and none other than Mr. Markall was there to save 6 points. Haggins had an open road right up the middle of the field.
I thought he should have continued to go, because let's take a look at it. Watch the blocking, and Haggins really has some great speed, some good blocking up front as the whole middle opens up right there as you see it. Now here's where I thought he could have just kept on going, because he really has some good speed.
Anthony Davis is the deep back in the I set as Tampa Bay might be putting the ball up now as they look to get points. Down 13-0. Here is the fire. The man is open. The ball is caught by Larry Mucker, wide receiver from Arizona State, running the post pattern. You got to want the ball to take it like that. He knew the defense was going to get him, and they did.
This is the pass that was Gary Huff was throwing last week against Seattle, right across the middle, right coming between the two zones, between the linebackers. Here we see a look at it right here as Larry Mucker comes to the inside, a perfectly thrown ball by Huff, and the tackle was perfect as well.
A 16-yard gain on the play, and so now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers start to mount somewhat of a challenge. They have the ball 1st and 10 at Green Bay's 34. Packers close that run down. Packer linemen reading the run very nicely. They've turned it in for the most part here in the second half after Tampa Bay was moving to the outside pretty well late in the second quarter. Chuck Muncie's just run for a New Orleans touchdown. That game is now 21-7. Cardinals leading the Saints. A lot of time left in the second quarter. Gary Huff brings his team out. Open set in the backfield. Huff takes a look again. He's got to hurry, puts it up. A man is out there, but the ball is thrown too far. Isaac Haggins working on M.C. McCoy. Was not close to a connection as the ball went out of bounds.
Ball was thrown short. He was rushed from his left side that time, and it had to get rid of the ball a little earlier than he really wanted to. I would expect him possibly come back with something coming across the middle.
Big NBA game next Friday night at 10:30 Central Time on CBS. The Philadelphia 76ers and the Portland Trail Blazers. The two teams that met for the NBA title in the championship series. With, of course, Portland winning that game. Julius Erving you'll see Friday night. Johnny Gray threatens the blitz. He's going to drop off. Gary Huff says, I don't like the looks of that defense. I'm going to take one of my timeouts. You don't like to use those, but it's better than getting yourself knocked down for a 10-yard loss when you drop the throw if somebody's coming uncovered.
That kind of situation makes me wonder whether they have a checkoff system or an audible system from the line of scrimmage that allow them to do that, to pick up that safety blitz. If they don't, that certainly is a situation where they could use one.
Coach McKay counseling his quarterback Gary Huff. Huff is backed up by a rookie, Randy Hedberg, and by Jeb Blount, who is out of Tulsa, played with Oakland. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers need a big play very badly. Tomorrow night on CBS, you'll see the Bing Crosby special. Packers lead the game 13-0. 3rd and 20. Here comes the rush. Penalty marker is down as the pass is completed to Nafziger, the tight end. But we might have a holding call against Tampa Bay as the Packers were coming with a big rush. That would make it, if they went with the penalty, 30 yards to go for the first down.
Let's watch Nafziger come off the line of scrimmage as he's harassed on the side. Gets enough yardage, comes down and makes a fine catch. And then comes up with gets some extra yardage for the first down. But we look like we have a penalty against the Bucks. Let's see what the referee
holding
says it is.
Number 79, offense, 3rd down.
Well, that puts you back just a little further, Donald. What do you do on 3rd and 30?
Well, get that punter with the bad leg out there then.
They're down 20 yards to go.
13-0 Green Bay, and here is the big rush again. The long ball is thrown to Haggins. Incomplete. It was out of bounds where it came down. Well, that's got to be frustrating on a coach like McKay, who's won 4 national championships in Southern California. Get started with an expansion team that's been close so many times. It's not like they're getting blown out. As he said during the week, it would be one thing if we were getting beat badly every week, then we'd really know we weren't ready to compete yet. But we're tight with teams like Minnesota, a lot of good teams. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 0-19 in the NFL.
Well, that's their offensive really have kept them off the board. The defense has kept them in just about every football game they've played. They have not shown much offense with the exception of last week when they scored 23 points against Seattle and were able to have their best offensive game of the year.
Very nicely done punt by Green, who angled the ball to the far sideline, and it was down at about the 9-yard line. And so the Packers come out on offense first and 10, but they'll start from their own 9-yard line with 2:48 to play in the 3rd quarter. And Green Bay leading the game 13-0. Packers led at the half 6-0 on 2 second-quarter field goals by Chester Marcall. And then, after Jim Gueno blocked the punt, the Packers got the ball and finally took it in from in close as Torkelson ran in behind Big Mel Jackson.
Outstanding blocker. Jackson has been out there all day long, clearing the way for Torkelson and Smith. And on the play right before the half, he had a fine block for Torkelson and picked up about 26 yards.
Packers, Artie Smith rambles it on out. The big Virginian is knocked down by Jarris White, but Barty Smith got ahead for almost 10 yards. In fact, he got a first down. He got 10 yards.
1st and 10, Green Bay.
No real big secret on this play, just a power play off tackle, good blocking at the point of attack, and Barty Smith rambles for 10.
And a good block on the play by the other running back, Torkelson, who picked off somebody as Barty Smith gives the Packers some room to work now. 1st and 10 at their 20. They look to use that running game now and run the clock with a 13-0 lead. We're in the 3rd quarter. Handoff to Torkelson, gets ahead for short yardage, out close to the 23-yard line. Richard Wood was on the stop. Now inside 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Other scores coming in from around the NFL. Doug Coder has just run for a touchdown, and the Giants lead the Washington Redskins 7-6 in the 3rd quarter. All right, on Championship Saturday, that tennis competition live from Mission Hills, California, including Chris Everett and Virginia Wade. The World Middleweight Boxing Championship between Rodrigo Valdez and Benny Briscoe. And the Laurel International Thoroughbred Race. Now, Barty Smith breaks off to the far side and gets out to the 28-yard line. Packers continue to run the ball and continue to control the clock as the 3rd quarter winds down now to a minute and 22 seconds to play. Rich McGeorge and Aston are in at the tight ends as Green Bay puts in its power front for the short yardage. Laurel International also coming up on Saturday, November 5th. Outstanding thoroughbreds from around the world will be competing in that. All on CBS. 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and less than 2. Torkelson gets it, tries to go behind Jackson, and again, Tampa Bay's defense does the job. Dewey Selman, 61, and Curtis Jordan got the gaps.
Let's take a look at it. Watch Selman as he comes in and just knocks everyone out of the way, including Torkelson, the ball carrier. Fine defensive play by Selman.
Leroy and Dewey were on the play. When Leroy hits him, they take off like rubber balls. Boy, he is a thumper. 6'3", 260. The Selman brothers from Eufaula, Oklahoma. Lucius is around here somewhere. He was down here playing last year. Here's the long kick downfield. Haggins takes a look, gets one nice block, now another, and now the Packers hem him in. Green Bay has played well on special teams, accepting the near breakaway for a touchdown on a kickoff following Green Bay's only touchdown of the game. That was when Chester Marcall made the hit on Isaac Haggins when he had one man to beat, and that was Marcall. So Tampa Bay, again, after driving down the field 3 times in this game, getting in field position to score, unable to do so. One time, you recall, they fumbled the ball, Ricky Bell at the 10-yard line. Another time, last time down, they were knocked back by holding penalties and ultimately had to punt the ball. This will be the last play of the quarter. Gary Huff takes a look. Big rush against him. Swings it out. Got his man, Ricky Bell. And Bell is out to the 30. Got only a yard as the third quarter winds out. The gun sounds. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Green Bay Packers 13. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station. Falling asleep. No offensive team. I have a problem with the arm. It's this dude here. How many operations did you have? Who did it? Oh, the best guy to cut McDonald or?
Who are we going with? Oh, let's try, put it on Owens one time. Let's see if they don't hit him. Is he in there? Yeah. He's only caught one. That dude, something.
With Johnny Unitas, this is Don Criqui back at Tampa, Florida. Next week, you'll see in different parts of the country the Vikings and the Falcons from Atlanta. The Redskins and the Eagles go after it at Washington. Chicago and Green Bay, always a good one. Next Sunday, the Lions and the Cowboys meet up. Los Angeles plays at New Orleans, and Tampa Bay heads out to San Francisco. That's regional coverage of National Football League action here on CBS. Next Sunday, October 30th. We're ready now to open the fourth quarter, as the Green Bay Packers have a commanding 13-0 lead. Tampa Bay with a football, first and 10 at their 30. Huff taking a look. Oh, almost. Wait, was that ball caught by Knopfsinger? Incomplete. Got it on the one hop. Steve Luke came up. He almost had an interception on the ball. The Jets now lead Oakland in the fourth quarter, 27-21. Stabler has just thrown to Blitnikoff.
Good blocking by the offensive line of the Bucks. There's the throw. Ball is low. Knopfsinger almost, he thought he caught it. Couldn't pull the official right on the play.
The Packers go to 5 defensive backs on third and long yardage for Tampa Bay. 3rd and 8. Huff, big rush against him, fires away, and the nearest Packer to it was the free safety, Johnny Gray. As Gary Huff never saw that ball come down incomplete. He was looking right up at the beautiful Florida sky.
Just count those stars up there, son.
Ezra Johnson got to him. Packers had a good draft. Butler and Johnson are 2 first rounds, are very high on. Cook, who came in the 2nd round, I think is going to be outstanding in the offensive line. Johnny Gray is back deep now for the Packers at his 30. Downfield the ball goes. With the ball is Johnny Gray, dancing and weaving. He is out to the 42-yard line and knocked down there. And the Packers will take over the ball now as they are looking for that ball control offense. Their big offensive line comes out. Done a big job today for Green Bay. Right now, we're going to have a pause in the action with 14:40 left to play in the game, and Green Bay continuing to lead it 13-0.
don't you key on Melvin Johnson this time, number 71, Jackson, see what he does. Nothing else is interesting. Of the offense. Yeah. If you can get him. Okay.
Bob, you haven't been hitting the Buccaneers. We're set to go now in the fourth quarter. The Green Bay Packers with the ball, 1st and 10 at their 41-yard line. They hold to a 13-0 lead. Wind is very much a factor. Tampa Bay has to pass when they get the ball, trailing by 13. The Packers want to control it on the ground. Winds are gusty, makes it difficult to hit the long ones, and Tampa Bay needs those to get back in this. Handoff goes to Barty Smith. Straight power play off the left side.
Barty Smith on the carry.
Miami now leading Seattle 24-13 in the fourth quarter at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It was a gain of just 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Dewey Selman was on the stop.
Still 14 minutes to go, and I expect the Packers to try to maintain control of the football, ground control, and eat that clock up, Don. Occasional throwing the football.
Dickey with a swing pass out to Steve Odom. A nice, very nicely done wide receiver screen. Good play fake into the line, faking the run, and then triggering it out quickly. The blockers were there.
Melvin Jackson, number 71, again coming out and helping Odom on the play. It was a quick screen to the outside receiver who has to wait for his offensive men to come out so he can follow him up the field.
Bart Starr and Zeke Bratkowski pleased with the proceedings at this point. Their quarterback, Lynn Dickey, has thrown 13 times, has completed 9 for 120 yards. Gary Huff has hit 10 of 18 for 122 yards. 3rd and 1. The big back gets the ball, and he gets the money yard. Barty Smith runs ahead for a 1st down to the 48-yard line of Tampa Bay.
Good blocking by the offensive line, just knocking down the defensive line of the Bucs, enabled Barty Smith to come out and pick up the 1st down. Just hard-nosed football. That type of football is like maybe you haven't been around as long, like little single-wing type stuff right there. Number 71, Melvin Jackson, in on a fine block.
Cook and Kowalkowski, people just moving out. Orange shirts in front of them. 1st and 10 for the Packers at the 48-yard line of Tampa Bay. Second back through is Torkelson, and he is stopped cold. Might have gotten a yard. Off the bottom of the pile is Dave Pear, the middle guard, in his 3rd year from Washington. But the Packers continue to run the clock. 2nd down and 9 coming up now for Green Bay. 12:20 to play in the game. Packers in the lead, 13-0. This might be a good time to burn them. Throw deep, you think so?
Anytime's a good time to throw deep.
You weren't against that, were you?
No, I love it. Somebody get loose, let me hit you.
Yep, that's what Dickey might be thinking. He gets it to Torkelson. Look at the one put on him by Dewey Selman. Those Selman brothers don't hit, they detonate. I'll tell you one thing.
That's the price you pay when you come across that middle, but I'll tell you what, Torkelson, I don't know whether he's walking off the field or what, or is he just dazed? Let's watch him come across the middle there. As he catches the ball and Dewey catches him.
What a hit. Dewey's 6'1", 250.
That's unfair.
Swing pass out to the tight end, McGeorge. Good defensive play, and the Buccaneers say they got the ball. And so does Dick Jorgensen, the referee. 11:18 to play. They're working with the wind at their back in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's good, good recovery by the Bucs. It's a break for them because everything so far today has been going away from them. This is a quick screen to the tight end. McGeorge, as you see him set up the block and then drop back to his outside. Melvin Jackson, who's coming out there to block, cannot get out there soon enough to stop the defensive linebacker from coming in on McGeorge. Fine defensive play. Not only that, but they have the football.
First and 10 at the Green Bay 48. DuBose breaks into open field, gets another block, and Jimmy DuBose is down inside the 30 and not done yet. Free football. He's ruled down. Tampa Bay's ball. But there's a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. And they're marching back.
They got him for offensive holding on the play. It was a quick opener, and Du Bois just broke back against the grain and picked up some real good yards, but all for naught, as someone was detected holding.
So many times you see a play come back on a clip or an offensive holding after a big gainer. Well, it probably wouldn't have been the big gain if it wasn't for the penalty. So they held the guy off from getting hit.
That's a sad note, but that's what they're out there for, to call them.
Number 51, offense, first down.
The center, Reisig, is called for the hold. And Reisig was holding quite probably the middle linebacker, Jim Carter.
Let's take a look at it. Number 51 coming in, Reisig, holding.
Swing pass out to Isaac Haggins. They go to the wide receiver screen. Isaac Haggins comes back the other way. Toner misses him. Everybody in the building has got a shot at Isaac Haggins. They finally knock him down for yet more lost yardage.
I've never seen too many plays like that gain yardage. Anytime you're running around back there, going against the grain, somebody's always going to be over there. Occasionally you'll be able to pick something up, but 9 out of 10 times the best way to go is straight ahead as far as you can.
Don't get anywhere running east and west.
Except tired.
North and south is where it's at. Give it to Amici.
Say the shortest distance between 2 points is what? Don't you know anything
for
about
you, it's
geometry?
Raymond Berry.
That's right, straight line.
Tampa Bay's had 4 penalties in the second half. It's cost them 35 yards. Huff has time. This time puts it up. Ooh, very close to interference. But none is called. Willie Buchanan, the opinion of the official who was right there, made the hit just as the ball arrived. The clock is stopped on the incomplete pass with 10 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the game. And the Packers continue to lead Tampa Bay 13-0. Green Bay is going to win a lot more football games, I think, this season.
Well, if they keep that offense moving the way that they are this afternoon, I'm sure that they will. The defense played exceptionally all year, has done a good job this afternoon. It's the offense that has been sputtering for the Packers. They have to continue to go the way they are this afternoon. I'm sure they will, Don.
Plus, they have offense is more diverse. You're talking about the quarterback coaches are calling the plays. That's a pretty good brain trust. Bratkowski and Starr. Uh-oh, Gary Huff gets it away as he is run down and thrown down way back at the 10-yard line. Apparently, he's shaken up. Coming down to get him is a guy you're going to see a lot of, have been seeing a lot of, Mike Butler, the rookie. Huge defensive end. Boy, Tampa Bay's lost so many quarterbacks this year. Just have to hope Huff's all right.
Let's take a look at the play right here as you see Huff being chased out of the pocket, and he elects to try to outrun
Big Mike
Butler out of Kansas, and he decides to throw the ball away. And he was really thrown to the turf.
Didn't look like he was thrown down that hard, but apparently
probably the way that he landed down, it could have been the shoulder or anything. We'll just have to wait and see if we get some information from downstairs.
Yeah, that's what it could have been, a shoulder. You don't know, though. We'll wait and see. Just hope it isn't serious. 12 for 23. Gary Huff has thrown the ball well for 136 yards. And a great number of those throws, of course, were on obvious passing downs when the defense was really teeing off and coming after him. We have a timeout right now with an injured player, 13-0 Packers. Yes, sir. Yes, Billy. Sports Spec, Jim? Yeah. Yep. We're going to go to motorcycle, then junior gymnastics. Next Saturday at 3:30 Central Time, lots of action on the CBS Sports Spectacular, the World Motorcycle Javelin Championships. The Women's Junior Gymnastic Invitation. You'll see a great performer who could be a medalist at the next Olympic Games, Stephanie Willem, 13 years old from Bethesda, Maryland. They say she's going to be the matchup for those great Romanian and Soviet athletes. And also the fourth event of the decathlon in the World's Strongest Men competition, wheelbarrowing competition this week. That's next Saturday at 3:30 Central Time on the CBS Sports Spectacular. And Gary Huff, apparently it's his left side, so if he better than that in his throwing arm, but he did bang up his shoulder. Now the New Orleans Saints have rallied back, John, the 21-0 deficit, and they have just scored a 53-yard pass, and they have tied St. Louis 21-21 late in the first half. Charlie Waters blocked the Philadelphia punt, ran it in for a touchdown for Dallas. Denver now leads Cincinnati 17-13. Punt rolls dead inside the 25-yard line. It's amazing, the Oakland Raiders, everybody was conceding them another Super Bowl until they got waxed last week, waffled by Denver 30-7. Now the Jets are beating them 27-21 in the fourth quarter.
You can't ever count the snake out. He sure can throw the football. I've never seen anyone throw it so well in a long time.
He's a dart thrower. He just zings it.
His only problem is left-handed.
Throws with the wrong arm, huh?
Yeah.
Only hit 67% last year doing that. He also threw 7 to the Denver Broncos last week. Oh, I tell you, that's a football team.
Red Miller's done an excellent job with them. They've had a fine defense last year, too, when Ralston was out there, but Red is
not like this one.
Well, they've kind of taken them together, put them together.
They got a defense that nobody wants to know anything about that's playing against. That's like a pack of wild dogs. They are unbelievable the way they go after a quarterback.
I believe Craig Morton has solidified that offense, too, giving them some leadership out there, which they've always needed.
It is 2nd down and 8 now for Green Bay. Packers leading 13-0. Torkelson cuts back in. Jumps up and over Dewey Selman that time.
Some information on Gary Huff just came through that he has some rib problems. Don't know whether they're cracked or just bruised. They won't know before they get up x-ray of that. They do smart.
So we'll be seeing his backup coming in, first-year player, Randy Hedberg. Packers, of course, have a freshman quarterback, first-year player out of Furman as the backup now to Lynn Dickey and David Whitehurst. 3rd and 4, draw play. Torkelson didn't get there. Tampa Bay read it, knocked him down at the 33, and so the Packers will punt the ball back to Tampa Bay with 8:25 to go in the game. Mr. Yu.
Hedberg from Mr. Minot. Here's a good look at Gary Huff with a nice pack on the ribs, and they kind of hurt. Very difficult to throw with them. So we will see Mr. Hedberg from Minot. Minot.
Randy Hedberg from Minot State. Isaac Haggins is back deep now for Tampa Bay as Beverly's ready to hit the ball into the wind. Angles it nicely. Makes a hop out of bounds inside the 30. Penalty marker is down. .7:52 left to play in the game, and let's see what the penalty marker is. Johnny?
Well, probably someone downfield before we was allowed to be, or blocking downfield before the ball was kicked. That's the general one down there. We'll have to wait to see what the officials come up with.
Got the Packers playing the Chicago Bears next week. A face mask penalty is signaled against Tampa Bay.
Well, I don't know how you'd get a face mask penalty on a punt, do you? Wasn't any run back.
No. Somebody was reaching and got caught. It came after the punt. Tampa Bay's offense stays out, but they'll have the ball first and 10 at their 18-yard line. Talking about the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears is one of the great rivalries. How about the matchups you had? The Baltimore Colts and Green Bay.
We had a lot of fun times out there with Herb Adderley, Forrest Gregg.
How about our friend
Mr. Nitschke?
Paul Hornung running through you for 5 touchdowns?
I didn't play that game.
Oh, you weren't in there on defense. Horn won't let you forget that.
That was the day in the fog.
He remembers that vividly. Now Oakland has come back to take the lead over the Jets with 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Stabler has thrown to Mike Siani. He must have heard you, John. 28-27. And Cleveland leads Buffalo 20-16. A 91-yard return of a blocked punt by Keith Moody gave the Bills a touchdown.
Well, seems to be some kind of a controversy down there on the field.
Yes, there does. See if we can pick it up.
Let's flip a coin if you don't know what to do.
Giants continue to lead Washington 7-6 with 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter at Washington. Jim Carr out there, that left forearm and the right one well taped. As you know, he missed most of last season with a fracture of his right forearm. Season before that, he broke a leg. Playing excellent football now that he's back.
The only drawback of the Green Bay Packers linebackers are the speed. They don't have the speed that they would love for them to have. They do an excellent job, but they do lack the speed that most linebackers have in a National Football League.
They're bringing it back now, and hopefully Dick Jorgensen will give us elucidate a little bit more on just what has transpired. We've seen the football go up and down the field along with 22 players. Here it is.
Face mask, number 23 on the kicking team, while the ball was in the air. 4th down.
That was Terry Randolph, called for a face mask while the ball was in the air. Neil Graff has gone in to replace Terry Bradshaw in the Pittsburgh-Houston game. Injury to the wrist again of Bradshaw. Beverly hits the ball nicely downfield. Haggins on the run, and there are Packers to get him on, but Thompson can't get to him. Here's a penalty marker down as Isaac Haggins, and now we start to heat up. Nothing worthwhile comes of that.
Well, the Bucs are trying to do everything they possibly can to try to get this offense moving and get something on the board. We have a clipping penalty or what? There's a run. There's Haggins. There looked like it may have been a clip over there on the side.
This is a natural grass field at Tampa Stadium. It's in such good shape from high above. It looks like artificial turf.
That's what they ought to have all over the place is natural grass.
A horse can't eat at you on a planet, eh? Like Richie Allen.
The other stuff is hard to smoke, too.
Personal foul, flipping,
I'm not touching that one.
team, 1st down.
7:41 left to go in the game. It is 13-0 the Green Bay Packers. It has now become an overcast sky, intermittent sunshine. Wind is up and down. You're never quite sure what you're going to get in the Tampa Bay area. New quarterback is in, Hedberg, as Huff was shaken up. Hedberg puts it up, going for John McKay. He was open. Hedberg got level. Packers are taking no prisoners with that defensive unit.
Purefoy in on him that time and hit him just as he was throwing. McKay was completely open and coming across the field. It was just a matter of pitch and catch and that kind of situation. And the pitcher just was not up to the job.
Look at this Purefoy. He gets a clean shot. Oh, man.
Oh, did I hurt you, honey?
Got an Henry streak in some of those big Packers out there.
Oh, they don't like quarterbacks.
Here comes Butler. Oh, man. He got the ball away and completed it. But Hedberg was flattened by Mike Butler.
I wonder whose turn it's going to be next. Purefoy first, then Butler.
This Tampa quarterback could sue for non-support.
I say, if they're going to take that long to throw, we better start throwing some short, quick stuff. Maintain control of that football. We got to get some points. Watch the hit right here by Butler. Perfectly legal. No way to stop that 260 pounds in midair, is there? They should have a gun back there.
To a very quick feet. Hedberg did not on that play. Has stood right in there and completed the pass, though. It's going to be 3rd down and about 5. Gets it away again. 1st down pass. It's all right. Not giving any ground. He's staying right in. He drilled it to his tight end, Nofziger. Dana Nofziger, a rookie from Cal Poly. Watch again now as Hedberg delivers.
Hedberg 6'3", 200, so he's a good-sized young man himself. He can stand a little bit of that punishment. Fine throw. Fine reception for the 1st down.
Hedberg was drafted in the 8th round out of Minot State in North Dakota. Passed for over 5,700 yards as a collegian, which means nothing to you or to me, but it's almost intercepted. MC McCoy almost had him 6. So sure was he of going for the touchdown. He forgot to catch the ball.
That's a tough throw by Hedberg. He's way on the left, on the right hash mark, and he's trying to throw a 15-yard sideline clean across field. Now that's like about a 48 to 50-yard pass across field, trying to pick up 15. And if that defensive back is anywhere near the offensive receiver, you might have to make a tackle.
Kind of wishing you had a string of those and you let him go. Here comes Hedberg again on 2nd and 10. He gets it away. McKay with a great reception. Young John McKay gets the ball at the 46-yard line.
Again, the same pass before that was thrown too far in front of McKay. There's McKay coming across. Watch the excellent
That's a football
move right there by McKay to come back for the football. What you call body control.
John McKay, a great high school player, Mater Dei High School in Southern California. His quarterback was Pat Hayden, who now quarterbacks the Rams. The most sought-after combination around in those days. Here's Hedberg. He's all right, Hedberg. He puts it up. Oh! McKay disappointed, but McKay had to look for his footing because he would have come down out of bounds.
Nafziger still the leading receiver for Tampa. His 4 catches of 60 yards. He's the one that cut the one down the middle on the middle linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. Hedberg's staying right in that pocket, and they're adding a little bit more protection for him.
They are. They're tightening it up. They're holding the backs in. He's just going to wide receivers. Got to hold the backs. They're picking the blitzes up. Hedberg drills it. But Haggins made an in move, and Hedberg was looking for an out move just before the lights went out again.
Well, someone was on the wrong page somewhere. Right church, wrong pew, they say, right?
Bob Barber was the guy that got Hedberg.
There's Hedberg setting up. Let's watch Barber coming in right there. Woo, does he hit him? That's what threw that ball off.
6'3", 208. We come out of this thing about 6'1", 208. 5 defensive backs in for the Packers in a prevent defense. 3rd down and 10 for Tampa Bay at the 46-yard line of Green Bay. Packers lead 13-0 in the 4th quarter. Bob Barber gets his man. So down goes Randy Hedberg, and the Tampa Bay attempt at a 3rd and long comes up way short. Substantial loss, and the punting unit is out. 5:54 to play.
There's Barber again. Hedberg had no shot whatsoever. Good rush by the Packers, and that's about the 22nd or 21st sack of the afternoon.
How about of the season? Not quite.
Oh, excuse me. Well, they've been hitting them around there. It seems like this afternoon.
They put at least 21 hits on the quarterbacks. Here is the hit downfield on the punt. Gray at the 20. Looks to go outside. Here's some blockers. And the Packer offense comes out. 13-0 Green Bay lead.
I would stay with McGeorge or Torkelson, one of those backs back there, because they'll just be blowing them out. You're going to try to stay on the ground, I'm sure. If you want to get some good defensive play, get on Selman.
Yes, sir, Billy. Gotcha, Bobby. Championship Saturday, November 5th here on CBS. You'll see Chris Evert and Virginia Wade competing in the championship of women's tennis live from Mission Hills, California. The World Middleweight Boxing Championship live, Rodrigo Valdez versus Benny Briscoe. And the big thoroughbred event from Laurel in Maryland, the Laurel International. That's Saturday, November 5th, Championship Saturday here on CBS. This is Don Criqui with John Unitas. You see the Browns and the Bills in the fourth quarter at Buffalo. Cleveland leading 20-16. Green Bay is leading here 13-0 with 5.5 minutes to go. Handoff goes to Torkelson. I'll tell you one thing, that Leroy Selman hits you. Guys come down in pieces.
He came right down the line on that one and got a good shot at Torkelson.
Hits so hard. Watch him. He drives that shoulder, and he's a knockout hitter.
There's Selman coming on a pursuit pattern as Torkelson's breaking back. Selman is going to hit, boom, right there. Good morning, Mr. Torkelson. He is an exceptional defensive player.
Going to give Eric a little extra time in the whirlpool tomorrow after Green Bay. Taking some hops. Here comes Barty Smith. This is a game for men, I'll tell you that, the National Football League.
That's why I got out.
14 years later, huh? Now we have the ball down at the 25-yard line, and big crowd staying with it. Boy, they got some following. This is a great franchise. This team starts to win, it's going to be a super franchise. Brian Sipe has just thrown for a touchdown, and the Browns have taken command of their game with Buffalo 27-16. The ball will be set down. Decline of the penalty. Third down coming up. And 10 at the Green Bay 25. 4:45 to play. Nathan Simpson is now in the game, number 48 for the Packers. Torkelson goes out. Simpson turns the corner, tries to jump over. Very few have won at that, except on the goal line.
He's a speedster. They put him outside, try to run that Green Bay sweep, hoping they can get to the outside. There you see him. Owakowski in front of him. He decides to go over the top instead of outside the end. Wasn't anything outside either.
And so it is now fourth down, and David Beverly is out to punt for the Packers. They might have got a little bit of that football. Big rush was on, but it does get a Packer roll, a good one. Now it's picked up by Haggins, and he's down to 33. So Tampa Bay comes out with their offense, 3:56 to play, and the Packers still in the lead, 13-0. Green Bay led at the half by a score of 6-0 on two Chester Markall field goals, then scored in a run by Eric Torkelson. NBA action returns to CBS on Friday night at 10:30 Central Time. The 76ers and the Portland Trail Blazers meeting up at Portland. Now Hedberg with 1st and 10 has to come out pitching. Big rush, he gets some time, but he throws the ball errantly. Incomplete.
Poor throw by Hedberg. He did have enough time. I guess he was just rusty from inactivity. Because they are giving him some time down there now to throw. And he may remember some of those shots he took in the last offensive move that they had, trying to get rid of the ball a little quicker.
5 defensive backs again come in for the Packers. 2nd and 10. Penalty markers down all over. Hedberg throws. Isaac Haggins loses it off his fingertips, but the penalty markers are all over the field with 3:48 left to play.
And it looks like it's fixing to rain here in Tampa. Some people are starting to leave now. 3:48 left in the ball game. We'll have to see what the referee tells us about the flags. So far, Hedberg has not completed the last 2 plays.
We've got some upsets going on around the league, Johnny, although the games are not final yet.
Illegal motion, number 75, offense, decline, 3rd down.
Dave Rivas, the left tackle, illegally in motion. Denver is leading Cincinnati 24-13. The Broncos favor to win that game, but the New York Giants, a decided underdog, are beating the Redskins in the 4th quarter at Washington 14-6, and Atlanta's leading Chicago 9-3. In the 3rd quarter, Hedberg throws. Man is open. McKay. The ball is intercepted beautifully by M.C. McCoy. They ruled his knee was down. Now that is a football play.
Boy, he's as quick as a cat. He went right up in there and took that ball away from McKay.
Looked like McKay was going to get it. I think the rain has started to fall because people are really starting to scatter.
Well, they were all staying here for that last offensive threat, and it kind of fizzled out.
3:39 left to play in the game. The Green Bay Packers with the football and a 13-0 lead.
It looked like it's going to have to wait another week before the Tampa Bay breaks that losing streak.
Might be longer than that.
Well, they have San Francisco next week, who is not really playing good football either, so they may have an outside shot at them.
Well, they're playing at San Francisco. The Packers will be back in Green Bay next Sunday, October 30th, to meet the Chicago Bears in a 1 o'clock kickoff. While the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head out to San Francisco, the 49ers going into play today. 0-5 on the year. They have the Lions today. There's an interesting mix in that Central Division. It's going to be tough. It's always tough. What did Van Brocklin call it? The bare knuckle division. Black and blue, whatever. 3:03 left to go in the game. The clock is running. Packers have the ball. 2nd down and 6. Second back through is Torkelson. And there's nowhere to go as Dave Hare throws him back.
They'll just continue to keep the football on the ground and stay in the huddle as long as possible, using up as much time as possible. We have timeout called by Tampa with 2:51 left in the ball game. The Packers would like to make this 1st down. If they do that, they should be able to control the rest of the ball game in that kind of a situation. And we see the Tampa defense standing around with their hands on their hips. They've played well.
Oh, they have.
All
That's a football
afternoon.
team right
I
there.
really believe that they have. They played a lot better this Sunday than they did last Sunday against the Seahawks.
They're all young, too.
But still, they're on the short end of the score.
Leroy Selman and Dewey Selman in their 2nd year. Dave Lewis is a rookie, one of the linebackers. Another linebacker is a rookie, Cecil Johnson.
Tampa's had 10 penalties this afternoon for 60 yards. Some penalties have really cost them some good yardage, especially on a couple holding penalties that really killed the drive.
Tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time, it's Rhoda here on CBS, and then you'll see a new show on our own. That's tonight on CBS. Tampa Bay's got one of the really good personnel people around, Ron Wolf, who was in the Oakland Raider organization for many years. It's going to be a good club. They've done it on defense, but their offense just can't get the points up, and an awful lot of that has to do with the Packer defense, which has played very, very well. Running the ball down to the 47-yard line, the Green Bay Packers content to just keep the ball moving any way they can and keep the clock moving. It shows 2:40, and it's rolling. Mr. Unitas.
The time will continue to. They'll go on now with a punt, and we'll have the 2-minute warning shortly. Of course, Green Bay may just try to hold that football, be penalized 5 yards, and let that clock run down to 2 minutes without putting the ball in play. Let's see what to do.
And the ball is angled out of bounds by Beverly. Inside the 15-yard line, and there Tampa Bay will give it one last thrust with 2:08 left to play.
They'll get one play in there before the 2-minute warning, and that'll save them a timeout. It's been all Green Bay the second half. They moved the ball pretty much at will. And then, of course, Tampa came back in the second half and drove all the way down the 10-yard line when Ricky Bell fumbled. That was their longest drive, and it was the only threat that they've had so far in the second half.
1st and 10, Tampa Bay. Randy Hedberg, a rookie, is in at quarterback. Gary Huff, the starter, was banged up, and Hedberg's going to be very shortly the licking he's taken. Boy, the Packers are just eating up the quarterbacks. They sacked Huff twice, they sacked Hedberg twice, but countless times after they've just released the ball, they've taken the brutal hits.
Well, I think you have to credit that again to the good defensive secondary play by the Green Bay Packers, who have had everyone in their hip pockets most of the afternoon.
Tampa Bay, by the same comparison, Johnny, has done quite well. They've sacked Lynn Dickey 3 times, but Dickey's had one of his best days, 11 for 15 for 116 yards. Bill Barnes will give you your direction on that, Bob. Go right to the big fella. Go right to the big fella with the cigar. The big gentleman with the cigar. Strong, dude. Billow. We have 2 minutes left to play in the game here at Tampa. And we'd like to thank some very fine gentlemen who've done their usual excellent work. Our producer, Bill Barnes, former All-American at Florida A&M. Bob Dunphy, happy Notre Dame graduate off that kicking of SC. Root Kopanex in from New Orleans. Here is Randy Hedberg. Packers now putting some shock troops in, and they're picking up right where the front liners left off. Steve Wagner was in covering in that play, number 21. Here's the final score in.
Final on Denver, Cincinnati, 24, Cincinnati 13.
To thank our engineer in charge, Marty Solomon. And here's it, Paul Koenig, also in our technical director. Ken Stabler, and his final touchdown pass to Mike Ciani did indeed bring the Oakland Raiders from behind. They have beaten the New York Jets barely, 28-27. A missed extra point following an 86-yard touchdown pass play, Richard Todd to Wesley Walker, was the difference in the outcome of that. So Oakland wins. They get out of there with their uniforms and a 1-point win. And they got to go to Denver next week. Randy Hedberg unloads the ball just before he is hit again. 1:52 to play.
Oakland could be in a world of trouble next week if they're playing Denver again. After Denver beating Cincinnati and then beating them last week, Denver could be sky high for that. And Oakland better be a lot higher than the sky, partner.
I know one thing. I wouldn't want to be Stabler going in there.
No, not in Denver.
Boy, there's
this
something.
time of year you could come up with 6 inches of snow, too.
There's something, that Denver team.
Another final, Miami 31, Seattle 13. Don Nottingham on a 4-yard run.
The ball is hit out of the end zone by Green. Johnny Gray lets it take a roll.
Smart play.
Down. Yep.
Excuse me. It's a smart play by Johnny Gray, letting it roll. I don't know who that was. Come in there and try to make some kind of play. Steve Wagner decided to pick it up the last second. And he dropped that and lost.
Let me get your names. Write out your names so I can give you credit. And the stats man. As you see, the clock is winding down now. The Green Bay Packers, a minute and 24 seconds away from their second win of the year after the opening victory over New Orleans, 24-20. The Pack losing the close games and a 4-game losing streak, and now the crowd has thinned out here at Tampa Bay. Crowd of over 50,000. Final score, the Steelers soundly beat Houston but lost their quarterback Bradshaw. We don't know for how long. Final, Pittsburgh 27, Houston 10. Our sweep, Torkelson is run and knocked down by Cecil Johnson out of National Championship Pittsburgh a season ago. And the clock now winds down, as you see, inside the final minute. And Tampa Bay will be 0-20 in the NFL. And you not to give any platitudes, but it isn't that bad a club. They're not that far away from the defense's front line.
Defense football team played well, and we talked about that earlier in the ball game, and they've shown that they are a good defensive football team. They have to come up with something offensively in order to be able to balance this thing out, keep that defense on the field constantly during a ball game. They're bound to wear it down and finally break toward the end of the game. Green Bay has been taking it to them all day long and moving the ball. But they have been playing extremely well.
They just caught the timeout. 13 seconds left to play, so we're heading down the stretch as the Packers are that far away. 13 seconds to a 13-0 shutout win. The punt sails into the end zone for a touchback with just 3 seconds left to play. And so it is all but officially over as we have one final play from scrimmage coming up. Out onto the field is the Tampa Bay offense. Rookie quarterback Randy Hedberg displaying a freshman's enthusiasm, sprints out there despite the fact his team is being shut out, and he's got 3 seconds to work with.
He's very fortunate he's able to sprint the way he's been teeing off on it.
Yes. As front running quarterback Gary Huff was, of course, taken out of the game with bruised ribs, badly bruised ribs. Hedberg takes a look, a home run ball. His time has run out. There it goes. It is picked off to end the game. Put another interception in the book for Steve Luke, finishing the game in fine style.
Yeah, that's a freebie for Luke. He just sat back there and played center field and went out there and called for the fair catch and went out of bounds.
So Bart Starr, surely pleased with the overall showing of his team, runs off the field, a victor for the second time this year. We'll be back at Tampa Stadium. Willie Byline, Beelan, Jim Magone, Magong. Yeah, Mike. Thanks. This is Don Crickey with John Unitas back at Tampa Stadium. The final numbers are in. Green Bay beating Tampa Bay 13-0. We'd like to thank our crew in the booth, Willie Bylan, Jim Magong, and Rick Cottrell. John, the Packers now head back to Green Bay, meet up with the Chicago Bears next week. The Bears are having their problems right now at Soldier Field, losing to Atlanta 9-3.
Well, that ball game, you know, was always a tough football game between the Bears and the Packers, and I'm sure that Bart Starr is happy about his win this afternoon, especially the way his offense finally got together and moved the football. down the field, 2 or 3 long drives and killing the clock at the same time. And then, of course, the Polish Messiah hitting 2 field goals. And
you're big on that the Polish Messiah.
Oh, that's big. I like him.
6 for 9 for the year. He's all right.
Not bad. It's pretty good percentage.
6th all-time scorer.
Right. Not a bad kid on top of it either, from what I understand. But, you know, you kind of feel sorry for the Buccaneers. They played so well defensively, yet they just had a reversal of what they did last week in Seattle, where their defense kind of let them down. Their offense scored 23 points, which is the largest number of points they've ever scored since coming into the National Football League. And then, of course, this afternoon could not get the thing on track for their offense to do a job on it, so that they come up with another loss, and then Green Bay goes home with a win. It'll be a happy ride home for them, and Buccaneers will have to just cry in their beer one more time.
Let me have all the scores, please. We're going to do a recap of scores. Thank you very much, Willie. Good job. Thank you. Yeah. Well, you never know. It's a good place to come.
Okay.
Not a bad place at all, Tampa.
Pennies.
Excellent place.
You got any scores?
It's a growing place.
Are you going to put them on there?
Okay, Billy. All right, the final score here at Tampa is Green Bay 13, Tampa nothing. Other scores from around the NFL: the Giants are now leading the Redskins in the fourth quarter, 17-6. Dallas leading Philadelphia 16-10. That game is in the fourth quarter. There's the Giants score we mentioned to you. A major upset there at RFK Stadium in Washington. Cleveland Browns leading Buffalo by a commanding margin late in the fourth quarter at Orchard Park, New York. Denver has beaten Cincinnati. Denver with a perfect record of 6-0 on the year. The Baltimore Colts, who play later today against New England, also, and Dallas with perfect records coming into today's play. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been beaten twice, but they beat Houston today 27-10. They are now 4-2 on the year. The Jets had a big lead over Oakland, but Stabler's left arm brought the Raiders back to a one-point win at Shea Stadium in New York, 28-27. Miami, a final score in. Miami winning its 5th game in 6 starts this season, beat the Seattle Seahawks 31-13. There is the third quarter score at Soldier Field. Atlanta, not much of an offense, but some defense, beating the Bears 9-3. 4 field goals account for all the scoring in that game. We remind you that the NBA on CBS returns next Friday night at 10:30 Central Time, when the NBA champion Portland Trail Blazers, led by players like Maurice Lucas and the great Bill Walton, go against the team they beat in 7 games and 6 games for the NBA title last May, the Philadelphia 76ers, with Julius Erving and George McGinnis and Doug Collins, 2 of the great teams in pro basketball, next Friday night at 10:30 Central Time on CBS. And so, from the skyline of Tampa, Florida, on an overcast day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers record falls to 0-6 on this year, to 0-20 in the NFL. But as we said, it's not that bad a club. A lot of defense, and the Packers with a win they needed very much and got quite handily with a good overall performance. Green Bay and Bart Starr with a 13-0 victory over Tampa Bay. Now for John Unitas, this is Don Crickey. The NFL Today is a presentation of CBS Sports.